What's up, y'all? It's Will here at Schedulefly. So, new year, new idea, right? We're going to start running a series of short episodes called The Story of Schedulefly. And, we have used this podcast for many years now to share the stories of hundreds and hundreds of restaurant people, restaurant owners, mostly, but people that love what they do, that are good at what they do, that like talking about what they do and sharing their own story. And that's what this podcast is for and will continue to be for. But one of the things that we realize is that it is so important for people to know your story. When you're running a business, your story really matters. I mean, in our space, just as in any industry, restaurants being the same, there's just so many options for the customer. And one of the things that always resonates is, who runs the business and what is this business all about and what's their story? What do they care about? Where do they come from? Why do they do what they do? So we thought we'd start sharing that. It kind of dawned on me last night. I was actually sharing a story with my kids. About 6 years ago, my mom lived in a building down in Georgetown, South Carolina, an old historic building, and that building burned down. And she made it out just in time. Made it out with her life. So they remember it happening. They're 16, 14, and 11, but they don't remember it real well, of course, especially the younger two. So I was sharing that story, and they were just really kind of on the edge of their seats. And it reminded me of how important stories are, and it reminded me of a quote from Game of Thrones. For you Game of Thrones fans, you remember Tyrion Lannister. It's one of my favorite, or probably my favorite character, but he always had really good wisdom. And here's a quote from him. Quote, "What unites people? Armies? Gold? Flags? No, stories. There's nothing more powerful than a good story. Nothing can stop it. No enemy can defeat it." End quote. How true that is. So I thought that we would just start sharing our story here, and make it short and sweet each episode, and just string it out however long it takes. But so I'll just start with we've been doing this 14 years. The business was started in April of 2007 by two guys, Wes Aiken and Tyler Rollman. And those two and I are currently the owners of the business. I joined them about a year and a half later. And then Charles and Hank, successfully over the next couple of years joined us. And we all actually worked together at a previous business. And that's how we all know each other and know what each other's capable of, and how we learned to trust each other. And that's how this team was formed. It was very, very deliberately formed by a group of people that, respects each other, has different skill sets, and that work well together. Even though we almost basically never see each other, we're spread around, but we work extraordinarily well together. So the business had been sold, and people were trying to figure out what they wanted to do next. I don't think it was pretty much a consensus. Nobody wanted to stick around after we kind of realized what it was going to be like afterwards. So Wes had this software that he had written for restaurants to help with making their scheduling and communication easier, and he had it on a server in his closet. And the reason he had that is because he had made the schedule at a restaurant back in college and in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, at the Bridge Tender. Now a wonderful customer of ours, but Wes knew what the headaches of writing a schedule and then dealing with writing it with all the tickets and receipts and chicken scratch on scraps of paper that you have to kind of piece together to create this schedule, and knowing who's good working with who, and so on and so forth, and then posting it on a cork board in the restaurant, and then seeing everybody flock to it and having it start to change almost instantly. So he recognized that was a problem. And he had this software he had written, and he was just kind of intending to let some restaurant friends he had use it and so forth. And then Tyler, and he talked about it, and Tyler thought, no, that sounds awesome, and there's certainly he did his due diligence. There's a good business opportunity there, and those guys decided, well, shoot, let's go do this, and so they did. And April of 2007, they incorporated, with 0 customers, and well, let's just say that's where we got started. More coming soon, but that was the beginning of Schedulefly. Tyler, Wes, some software some code on a server in Wes's closet, and an ambition to, get to 100 customers and 1,000 customers, and then maybe one day 10,000. But that was sort of the no business plan, and well, we'll leave it at that. Stay tuned if you're interested. More coming soon. See y'all.